hot. Well, hello my friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm feeling like a Starburst today. I'm feeling like juicy fruit. Definitely feeling juicy in these outfits lately. I'm still trying to get away with wearing my pre-pregnancy clothes, but some days, certain outfits, I feel like a busted can of biscuits. So I'm trying to avoid buying any maternity clothing. I did not buy any last pregnancy except one pair of leggings, which I ended up only wearing for a photo shoot. I never wore them any other time. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like maternity clothing is not very cute. And if you're anything like me, I love the style that bump. I love to romanticize my pregnancy. If I have to stick with my pre-pregnancy clothes and get creative, I'm gonna do it. All right, but we're gonna be talking about babies today. We're gonna talk about little man. We're gonna have a little story time on pregnancy after loss and just how this got started. We're gonna start from the beginning, what me and my husband did. Just kidding. We're gonna leave those intimate details in the bedroom. But first, I'm gonna get my workout done. 30-minute workout today. Look at that thing. First, dogs get exercise. Creepy. We clean my workout space. All right, we got my post-workout lunch here. So this is a tuna salad. All right, before anybody comes at me for eating tuna, it is safe to eat tuna fish in small amounts, canned tuna, cooked tuna, during pregnancy. I only have it maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks. My midwife said I can have it once a week if I want. I'm gonna sit on my deck and eat my lunch. Enjoy the sunshine on my legs. Still a little bit chilly, so I have to wear a jacket. Almost to the warm summer weather. My view. I don't know about you guys, but I like to layer my avocado toast like a 5-layer beefy burrito. All right, baby talk. You guys are gonna probably ask where my sweater is from. It is from Shein. Going back to last year, April 2023, obviously starting to feel somewhat better. My grief wasn't completely taking me over. I was able to start functioning more normal. I knew something was off with me physically. Naming a few things. I started getting acne on my jawline. And you guys, mind you, I don't ever get acne. I hardly get acne. Maybe like one pimple will pop up around period time. I started gaining weight, and now I'm not saying I just was gaining weight overall. It was very specific. So I noticed I was accumulating more fat on my midsection and my lower back, my chest area. And I was on top of my workout, and I wasn't like going crazy. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't eating all this crazy junk food. This is unexplained weight gain. My libido was trash. I could not orgasm at all. I didn't even want to have sex. Let's just put it that way. My poor husband. I felt like I was just hung over all day long. So even though I'd get like 10 hours of sleep, I'd still wake up and I would just be lethargic. I feel like I just wanted to go back to sleep. So I felt like my energy levels were off, but I was also waking up at like 3 and 4 every single morning, like on the dot. And I was like wide awake, like ready to go. To top it off, I had gut issues. So anything that I would eat, even if it was good, healthy, whole foods, I would get bloated, my stomach would hurt, I was having joint pain, muscle pain. I felt like I was sore all the time and like I was never recovering. To put this in perspective, I felt like I had a pinched nerve or a pulled muscle in my neck, and it was debilitating. Like, it would give me headaches. I would be trying to work. Nothing that I did in terms of stretching, in terms of recovery, Epsom salt bath, and sports specific massage, deep tissue massage, nothing relieved it. And it went on for like 2 months. And then finally it started to go away, but then it switched to the other side. I was also having a lot of hair loss too. I was like, there is something going on here that's obviously internal. So now I was being a little naive because I've never had hormone imbalances in my life. And I'm like, that's never happened to me. It wouldn't happen to me. So I didn't immediately say, okay, this is hormones, but it took some time of just suffering and being like in this state for me to finally be like, there's something going on hormone wise. Like, I would say it was like about 2 months. I need to go get checked out. So I went to my midwife's office. I asked for blood work and they tested my TSH, my T3, my T4, my thyroid antibodies. We tested my B vitamins, my vitamin D, my testosterone, estradiol or estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. Sure enough, I get the phone call. They call back and said, okay, so here we are. You are hypothyroid, so your thyroid is not making enough of the thyroid hormone. My cortisol was through the roof. It was elevated. I had adrenal fatigue. Testosterone was tanked. I had no testosterone. Estrogen, progesterone was pretty normal. My vitamin D and also my B vitamins were in a toxic range. So I was getting way too much, which just came down to obviously going from being pregnant to postpartum. I started taking a lot of my supplements again that I couldn't take, but I did not pay attention to how much each supplement was providing in terms of these vitamins. So basically I was just getting too much of that particular vitamin. So all I had to do was cut my dosages in half. So here we are. We finally got to the root of the problem of all my symptoms. I always go the natural route first. So I said, you know, is there a natural approach that we can do first before we go to medication? So they did recommend like an adrenal support supplement that's like a whole food. So I did get on testosterone cream because I just felt that was appropriate for me. And ISSA, who I am PT and nutrition certified through, they were offering a hormone course. So I ended up taking this hormone course. So this sent me down the path where I just got addicted, and I wanted to learn as much as I could about hormones, how to balance them naturally, but also how I could help my clients and all of my girls in my challenges. Now I'll do a whole separate video on what I did to heal my hormones naturally. Short version, pretty much all came down to lifestyle change and diet, and making sure that you're getting enough of the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to support hormone production, your hormones, to help keep hormones in healthy balance. I didn't start to feel normal physically and mentally with my hormones, and then my blood work, all my tests reflecting that they were back to normal until then January into this year, 2024. So it took almost 8-9 months to get me back to balance. My midwife did recommend that we probably hold off till maybe about 15 months, so 1.5 years before we start trying again. Not just physically letting your body heal and get back to normal, but the mental part of it too. My husband wanted to start like right away. We definitely butted heads with that. He's just like, why can't we now? Me trying to explain to him the woman's body. It was, yeah, we were like this. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of arguments over it. 1, I was not ready physically. 2, I was not ready mentally. I was so scared of trying again because of what we just went through. So, you know, I said, well, can we at least wait till I get my hormones in balance? But after some time and a lot of talking, we finally kind of got to a little bit more common ground, like middle ground. I was using the Flow app, so I was tracking my period and just really getting my period back in balance at postpartum, right? Understanding my period, understanding my ovulation, because this whole time, obviously, we were still having sex, but we weren't using any protection. We were just doing the pull-out method. But I got to know my body really well, and also literally I knew the exact day that I would ovulate, and I would have symptoms. So typically my ovulation day was I'd get bloated and I would feel sharp little pains, obviously where your ovaries were. I had to learn myself really well. For the most part, we were being careful. We hadn't been on a vacation together since our honeymoon, and that was almost like 5 years ago. So we were like, we need to go on a vacation. We deserve it. We need to get away. And so we ended up going to the Turks and Caicos Islands, and it was our first time there. It was beautiful. We went for a week, but we stayed at a Club Med, so it was an all adults resort, and it was the first time we've ever done something like that. Just enjoy the drinks. Yes, the drinks were good. I did not work out once. Neither of us did. We had planned to, but neither of us did. We just went to fully relax and just clear our heads and just enjoy the time together. This was also the same time that I told my hubby, start trying on this vacation, and he was so excited. He was so ecstatic. I was still nervous. I was still scared of the thought, and I think just because of the trauma that you go through, anytime you get pregnant after that, it's just gonna be scary no matter what. You can prepare all you want, think that you're ready, but you're always gonna have that fear there. And I knew that I couldn't just hold off forever because of a fear. That's just not fair to my husband. Such a big advocate for, you can't let fear control and dictate your life. And so I was in that position where I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like listen to my own advice. Before we had gone on vacation, I had blood work done and all my labs came back to normal. So I kind of was like, okay, that was another sign that, maybe this is time when we start trying. I figured I was probably gonna get pregnant like right away. Like we were both like, we're gonna have a Turks and Caicos babies. Knowing when my ovulation was, like we would time it to the ovulation and we're on it, and nothing happened. December comes and goes, January comes and goes, still nothing. My period also is like clockwork. I know it every day. When it says it's gonna start, it starts. February, it was a weekend. My period was supposed to start on a Saturday. Nothing came. So I was like, well, give it a day. Sunday comes and goes, nothing again. And I started getting anxious and nervous. I'm like, I might be pregnant. And I didn't have any pregnancy tests. I don't know why I didn't. Especially if we were trying. So because my morning was just jam-packed, and you know how your first pee of the morning is like your most potent when you do tests, right? Because I didn't have tests. I peed in a red Solo cup and I put plastic over it and set it aside because I was like, when I get able to get to town, I'm gonna go to the store and get a pregnancy test. So I saved my pee. And after I was done with all my work and then I had to go to the gym, the first thing I did is go straight to Walgreens. And yes, I had my pee with me in my cup holder of my car. The whole time I didn't have excitement, like nerves that I thought I would have. I had more anxiety over the situation. I'm not ready for this. That's kind of where my head was at. So I went and got just the clear blue digital test, and of course go out to my car. I'm sitting in my car and I take the stick and just stick it in my red Solo cup. I'm sitting there, and of course I do two, just so to be sure. Set the two tests in the seat next to me, and I'm waiting in the little loading window, having anxiety. I'm like trying to breathe normal, Jen, and they both popped up pregnant. I burst into tears. I was not excited. I did not have the joy that I thought I was going to have. And I did not know how I was going to react or feel until I got to this moment. But I just literally had a flood of emotions, thoughts, fears, anxiety, just overwhelmed me. I gotta call my husband, and he works in construction, so sometimes I can get a hold of him right away and sometimes I can't. So I sent him a picture of the pregnancy test, and literally within like 30 seconds he calls me back and he's just like, oh my God, he's so excited. And I'm like, I felt so bad because he was so excited and I did not feel that way. And I just felt like I couldn't join him in that excitement, and all I did is burst into tears. I was crying, and he's like, oh my God, what's wrong? And explain how I was feeling, express how I was feeling. And I also reassured him. I said, you can be excited. Please be excited. Don't let, just because I'm not, dampen your excitement. I want you to be excited. And I encouraged him. And so then we, of course, both agreed that we're not going to tell anybody until after our 12-week genetic appointment. I was 4 weeks when I found out. Found out pretty early. So moving forward through that month, it was rough, not only because of trying to hide it, trying to hide the pregnancy. My body started changing right away. Working so hard at healing my hormones and healing my body, and finally had just gotten normal and then got pregnant. Of course, you have to stop taking all of either supplements or stop doing things that you can't do while you're pregnant. You know, those things that probably were helping keeping me balanced were taken away right away. Fat accumulated in my abdomen, in my midsection again, my chest. You could tell that I gained weight, but I think also with the fluctuation in hormones from pregnancy, so the increase in progesterone, I retained a lot of water and I was just bloated all the time. So that was way different than my first pregnancy. I looked like something was going on. So this is when I started wearing big baggy t-shirts. I started working out at home. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't be around people. I didn't want people to ask questions, but I just avoided it at all costs. With Instagram and then all my videos, I would have to use a lot of old content, or I was filming with sweatshirts on and baggy t-shirts. It was still winter. I kind of was able to use that as an excuse, hiding my body. Pregnancy hormones came on strong, completely different from my last pregnancy. So this time I was nauseous. I don't know why they call it morning sickness. I literally felt 24 sickness. It was the strongest at nighttime too, before I'd go to bed. Did not have that with my first pregnancy with Kinsley. The fatigue was real. All food had ick to me. I didn't have any food aversions like I did last pregnancy. It was very specific foods. This pregnancy is just, I just didn't want to eat anything, but I kind of had to force feed myself because I was still active and I can't not eat and be active. So it was like, not eat, not be active, or force feed and be active. So I chose to force feed and be active. Pregnancy hormone rage. I did not have that last pregnancy either. And my poor husband, what he had to put up with. I kept telling him before he'd come home, just a heads up, I don't know if I want to fight somebody or cry right now. So just so you know, this is what you're coming home to. And bless his heart, he was just always there for me, always like, how can I help you? Like, what can I do? He was there for me. My husband was excited, but he also had his fears too. And we communicated and talked a lot about it. And we were worried. So between trying to hide the pregnancy, trying to still work and be the face of my work, it was a lot. It was very stressful. It was very exhausting, and dealing with pregnancy hormones and my changing body, the water retention, the bloating and everything. I felt like I had gained a lot of weight really fast. I remember one day, my husband shows up after work and I'm just like, he's like, how was your day? I was like, oh, rough. And he's like, why? I was like, cuz. I was like, I'm not even that far along in pregnancy, but I put on my normal workout clothes and I look like a busted can of biscuits. I just had meltdowns over that. The hardest part of it was too, is because my body was changing and we weren't telling anyone, I couldn't like talk about it and, you know, embrace it that way. So it was hard to embrace it at that time. We made it to our first appointment with our midwives. They do have a little laptop ultrasound. It's not like the genetics office where it's the big fancy one, but it's a little one where you can at least just see your baby. We were excited because we were like, we just want to see the baby. Mine's going crazy. Is there something in there? We get there, fill things out, collect all the information we need to, blood work, and then we do the ultrasound, and we just saw a little bean with a healthy beating heart. So we were like, oh, that was some relief at that moment. And we still have one more appointment, and that's the genetic appointment. The 12-week genetic appointment is actually when we found out that Kinsley had some kind of abnormality. So we had to wait another month for that appointment. Again, an eternity. Your mind's going crazy. Pregnancy hormones, pregnancy rage. To make matters worse on top of everything, it wasn't about maybe 3 or 4 weeks after finding out that I was pregnant, I started spotting. Let's not add to the stress, why don't we? It's like there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, we did my blood work, all my levels were normal. There was no other like hormones or things I could take that would help. So I'm concerned, my hubby's concerned, my midwives are concerned. We finally did a test for BV. Now, with BV, you guys, the symptoms are like a fishy smell, itching, cramping, and then spotting. I had none of those symptoms except the spotting. So we didn't immediately suspect that it was BV, but it turns out it was. So we got a safe antibiotic and cleared it up and we're back to normal. So that was a relief, but Oh my gosh. Finally get to that appointment and we were so nervous. We couldn't even talk to each other. We were just so nervous. What do we even say to each other? I couldn't even eat that day. He was having trouble eating too. Sitting in the waiting room, call us back, you know, we get into the ultrasound room and the lady actually remembered there with Kinsley and she's like, hi guys. She's like, welcome back. And she was so sweet. She didn't bring up, oh, I'm so sorry. She's just like, I'm so happy to see you guys again. She was just so sweet. I really like her, that ultrasound tech. She did all the normal measurements. So then we get to the neck, me and him are like biting fingernails. We could see right away that it wasn't super thick. Final number was like a 1.53. They want to see the baby at least under a 3. Now when they tested Kinsley, she was almost a 5. And even when they did all the other markers, they were all low risk, they were all normal. So our genetic appointment actually went really, really well, and it was a relief. And in some forms, a little bit healing. Go back and look at my YouTube videos, one where it says finding a heart defect. That was a rough time. There was a lot of tears in that video. So this was kind of healing and we didn't have any bad news. So as she was doing all of her scans, we found that I have an anterior placenta. Of all people that could have an anterior placenta, it would be me. With Kinsley, I was posterior. With this baby, I am anterior. So it acts like a little cushion between baby and like the outside area of your stomach. So when baby starts to move and kick, you're not gonna be able to feel it until baby's like really big enough and strong enough to be able to make an impact to feel those movements. Probably won't be till 20, 25 weeks, maybe 30 weeks. It's hard to say. Every pregnancy is different. My brain's already gonna be playing tricks on me and not being able to feel our baby for a very long time. Part of pregnancy is being able to feel babies. We also did the NIPT test, which tests for Down syndrome, trisomy 18, trisomy 21, and trisomy 13, and some other genetic abnormalities. You can also find out the gender as well. You can go online, make an account, view all of your results, find out your gender. And we decided we didn't want to do a gender reveal this time. I just wanted it to be more intimate and between us. Obviously, hubby had to go back to work. I got the link that said your results are ready, and I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, do you want me to wait for you till you get home or what? And he's like, no, I want to know right now. For all of the other genetic disorders, Down syndrome, all of those were all low risk. I went through all the prompts and it said sex male. My hubby's so excited because he gets to have a little mini me, but I really think this is going to be mama's boy. They always do say that the firstborn son is the male version of his mother. We wanted to make an announcement because we just wanted to wait till this genetic appointment and finding out where this pregnancy was going to go. We ended up going to my friend's ranch, actually where we got married, actually where we did the gender reveal for Kinsley. So we went out there and I just took my camera out and we just filmed a cute little video.
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep cause I miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing.
That is the video that we used to announce to all of our friends on Instagram, social media. The response that we got, I can't even describe in words how excited people were and encouraging, supportive, and just rooting for us. Like we knew we had a lot of people who had our back through this whole thing, but just the response to us announcing our pregnancy was just amazing, overwhelmingly amazing. Currently, where we're at right now, 18 weeks. Say all of my first trimester symptoms went away about 12-ish weeks. So I started to get my appetite back. Say a couple weeks ago, I finally feel like 100% normal. So just in terms of like just my body with working out, we still have the heavy breathing, getting out of breath, even just when you're changing bed sheets. I finally feel like settle into this pregnancy and be excited and actually have joy around it. Not to say that as much as I have joy, I still have my fears. Still haven't felt anything. I can tell when he's in certain spots, it feels more pressure and it feels tight in that area, and especially if I'm laying down or in certain positions. But as far as the normal like fluttery or bubbly like movements, I haven't been able to feel that yet. Now with Kinsley, was feeling a lot by this time. So that's still like gets to my head. Like, mind starts playing tricks on me. I'm like, is he okay? Is he alive? alive? Is his heart beating? And I do have one of those little Doppler things, but my midwives did tell me anytime I want to see baby with their ultrasound, call them anytime. So I have done that a couple times because I'm like, I just need to see. And every time he has been healthy, fast little heartbeat, sucking his thumb, doing somersaults. He is an active baby. Unfortunately, I can't feel that. He's always upside down. Ultrasound techs are always like, I can't get like a real good like scan or picture or video on him because he's always constantly moving. One thing I do notice with this pregnancy is I feel a lot more pressure down in my pelvis. The round ligament pain, sciatica came back a lot sooner and earlier than my last pregnancy. I think I was like late 20s, like 25 to 30 weeks when that stuff started happening with my first pregnancy, but this started happening literally weeks ago. I do a lot of my stretching. I've already made a lot of adjustments to my workouts. I have decreased intensity. I've never forced a workout. I don't try to train at my level and intensity that I did pre-pregnancy, which has helped a lot in terms of relieving pain, or it just feels better if I make certain adjustments and modifications to my exercises. I don't work out every day. There's some days I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a walk, or I'm just gonna do stretching. I do feel like my energy levels are like tip top right now, second trimester. Love the second trimester. And I know not everybody gets to feel that way. Sometimes the symptoms just stick around. So I'm definitely taking advantage of it right now because I kind of have a suspicion that how my first trimester was, that my third trimester is probably going to be similar. So taking advantage of the feel good right now. I am obviously low risk, levels healthy, everything. Me and baby are so healthy. As far as like anything that I can or can't do, I can continue everything for the most part. Of course, part of my specialization is in pre and postnatal coaching, so I know of the things that I should and shouldn't be doing. Obviously, there's going to be modifications and progressions through each trimester. There's going to be exercises that I could do all the way up to second trimester, and I've already had to either modify or stop doing specific exercises already. Also seeing a prenatal chiro. You guys remember when I was pregnant with Kinsley, I ended up with sciatica so bad that I couldn't even walk. Everything's constantly relaxing and shifting. Can't stress enough a prenatal chiro. I actually called my prenatal chiro and I said, hey, I want to come back. I just want to be proactive. So I got in there like a month ago and I'm actually going to see her like in the next week. Plan is she wants to see me every 3 weeks, and then about 25 weeks, then every other week, and then by 35 weeks, every week. I do feel like I'm carrying a lot lower this pregnancy than with Kinsley. I felt like I was carrying way higher with her. All the pressure is literally in my hips and my pelvis this go round, so way different than the first pregnancy. We do have our second anatomy scan genetic appointment at 20 weeks, so that's in like 2 weeks. Of course, I'm nervous for it because sometimes something can always pop up. So I definitely still have my nerves. Are we gonna be able to make it to the day where we hold this baby alive earthside? It just sticks with you. It stays with you. The extreme trauma that you went through and the loss that you went through, like I said, you never totally get over it. Even like my midwife said, is that she's like, this pregnancy is unfortunately not gonna be as exciting because you were robbed of that. I believe her because it has been that way. Like I have the joy, but then I'm like, ugh. And then I'm like, oh, I saved babies. Oh. It's just back and forth all the time. And I really, really try to be positive and hopeful. I really try to just lean more on the side of being positive. But it is so hard. It is so hard because that trauma, the PTSD is real, you guys. And if any of you have experienced this, loss and then pregnancy after loss, it's so weird because you can experience the extremes of both happiness and fear at the same time. And sometimes you don't know how to handle it. Just taking one day at a time, one appointment at a time, and if there is anybody who is currently in the same position as me, that you are pregnant after having loss, know you're not alone. Your thoughts and your feelings are valid. It really is hard to try to be positive and not worry if this baby is going to survive and live. And it's probably going to be literally until that baby's in your arms. And it probably won't even stop even after that. You're just gonna always be worried about your baby, about your child. We're in this together. We're gonna get this through together, and we're gonna make it. These babies, we're sharing the healthy, the good vibes, and we're gonna have a healthy pregnancy. We're gonna have a healthy delivery, and everything's gonna be all right. We just gotta keep reminding ourselves that. Please don't forget to lean on those who are there that love and support you. You already have your thoughts and your anxiety and your stress. You don't need to make yourself suffer more by trying to do it alone. So really, really lean into those who love and support you. I found that just even for myself, it has really helped me. I am an extreme independent woman. Like, I can do everything myself. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned this last year is that I can't do it all by myself. So that was a big growing experience for me to open up a little bit more and let people be there for me and help me and not be so stubborn. I remember a few times my husband was like, dude, you need to stop being so stubborn. You don't have to do everything by yourself. And I think women, we're culprits of that. Like, we're guilty of that, that we always want to do everything ourselves. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I can't tell you how many times I did this last year, and it got easier. It really got easier. Sometimes when we ask for help, we feel like we're weak, right? And we're not. That is actually a strength. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.